Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. We have a lot of things to go over, so let's just jump right into it. So first of all, as we talk about the different topics, Anthony Scaramucci, Tom from Fundstrat and Ethereum, and what's really happening. So there's been a little bit of a dichotomy between what is going to happen during this market. And so a lot of people have been saying that there's going to be no altcoin season, it's going to collapse and it's going to be awful, perhaps. But I think there's something brewing underneath, and I think it's come to light with Tom Lee and Scaramucci here talking about what's happening outside of Bitcoin. Now, we'll get to Bitcoin. Don't you worry. Over this one, I found it quite interesting. So Scaramucci, Heather Scaramucci from Skybridge says, Bitcoin treasury trend will fade despite Saylor's success. The success of MicroStrategy sparked other companies to adopt the approach. That's very true. We've seen multiple, I want to say over 90 different countries or companies themselves have been putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It's been hugely successful. However, the Mooch says some firms have looked at that and they said, that's great, but they're actually adding Ethereum and or XRP to their treasuries, which is quite interesting. I know some people love XRP or they hate XRP, but regardless, there's some companies out there that say, you know what, this is what we want to do. And just to make sure that nobody goes and firebombs Anthony Scaramucci's account on X, this is what he says. He says, Saylor's case is different because he's got a couple different products going now. He says, I'm not negative on the others because I'm too bullish on Bitcoin. I'm with him on the same one here. I'm bullish on Bitcoin as well. So don't think that Anthony's just like jumping ship and going, yes, Ethereum and XRP is the only way to go. No, he's saying there's options. And he's very bullish on Bitcoin, just like we all are. He said, but I would just say as an investor, you have to look at the underlying costs associated with each one of these treasury companies. Now, I will tell you, MicroStrategy, as far as gaining there for the equity of the stock itself, has been hugely and wildly successful. However, there are people like Tom Lee from Fundstrat who are picking up the torch, and they're going to push Ethereum forward because they're going to take Ethereum and put it on their balance sheet, the same thing what MicroStrategy does. Now, some people will say, well, that's ridiculous because Bitcoin's the only way to go. Perhaps it might be. But we must take a look at all sides of the story to see where people are coming from. So I want you to listen. This is about 1 minute and 10 seconds or so. I want to make sure you can actually hear this perfectly. This is Tom Lee from Fundstrat explaining why they are putting Ethereum on their balance sheet. Take a listen to this.
It's kind of complicated, but probably suffice to say that you all are doing basically what MicroStrategy did with Ether. You're going to make Ether, the purchases that you buy through this, you're going to set this whole thing up like this. You want to explain a little bit?
Yeah, glad to. You know, I'm still a big fan of Bitcoin because I think it is, you know, digital gold. But what we've seen in the last, really in 2025 is the financial services industry and crypto are converging. And it really started with stablecoins, which is the ChatGPT of crypto, right? Because it's viral adoption by consumers, businesses, banks, and now even Visa. Underneath the stablecoin industry is Ethereum. That is really like the backbone and architecture of stablecoins. So it's important to create a project that essentially accumulates Ethereum to essentially protect and have some influence on the network. So that's why we're creating this treasury vehicle to buy Ethereum. The more Ethereum that's accumulated, the more secure the network is. And I think it's also sort of the architecture that future banks will have. You know, when Goldman issues a stablecoin and JP Morgan doing it on Ethereum, as a layer 1 blockchain, they're going to want to secure it by staking Ethereum. So we're trying to get in front of that by creating a treasury vehicle.
And I will tell you right now, if you've got Tom Lee behind Ethereum, you're going to hear him talk about Ethereum quite a bit. So that could be a big catalyst for pumping those bags of Ethereum. But it's not just Ethereum, you have to understand. There's also other different cryptos and altcoins underneath that, because just because he talks about Ethereum doesn't mean that other things won't pop off. And I think that's one of the catalysts we need as far as like the narrative moving forward. Now, some may say that this is ridiculous, this is not going to work, but we'll see what happens. Anyhow, let me actually think about that in the comment section. And of course, as these stories progress, the narrative comes out, we see Ethereum, and of course, we've talked about stable coins, and I've told you many times that, of course, the different chains that are on there, you really got 4 that are really crushing it. And that will be, of course, Ethereum. That will be Solana. That will be BNB, and that would be Tron. And it's not just me. Just take a look at Visa Chain Analytics. And we talked about this numerous times. You can see that there is massive volume for those stable coins. But the question that you probably have is, well, okay, now Tom's talking about it. So what's the price doing? Nothing. And that's pretty much how it goes. Which, if you wanted to accumulate altcoins, might be pretty good. So Bitcoin's up a little bit the last 24 hours, but take a look at the 7 days. Ethereum's up 6, almost 7%. XRP is up 7% in a week. Solana, 7%. Tron, 5%. Dogecoin, 7%. Wow, 7%. And Hyperliquid, up 12%. Now, of course, people say, well, what about, how does that translate to Bitcoin? Well, if you come over here on CoinGecko, click on currency, slap down to Bitcoin, you can see which ones are bleeding. In the last 24 hours, yeah, Ethereum's bleeding to Bitcoin. But over 7 days, it's actually comparatively doing quite well against Bitcoin. Now, of course, we can go back 14 days, we can go back 30 days, we can go back 60 days. And yes, Ethereum has been sucking for all those things. But if we take a look at the last 7 days, not too bad. Am I saying that altcoin season is here? No. I'm just saying that there is a little bit of a push here for the alts. Enjoy it. If you're up a little bit, maybe you take some profits. Just saying, this is where we're at. Look at Sweet, 13% up against Bitcoin over 7 days. Avalanche, 5%, 4%. Wow, that's wrapped ETH. Litecoin, 4%. Hedera, 8.7%. I actually talked about this 4 or 5 days ago about the Dino coins. Anyhow, that's what we have for the Ethereum portion. I still think it has room to run. I still think that these institutions will pick it, but I could be wrong. However, they may pick this other thing called Solana. I don't know if you've heard about it. Pretty big digital asset. Of course, I'm being facetious. I have a big fat bag of Bitcoin, bag of Ethereum, bag of Solana. Let's see which one works out. Solana's first staking ETF outpaces XRP and ETH futures in its opening day performance. Here's what we got. First of all, this was an ETF from Rex Osprey Solana Staking. We talked about it yesterday. Didn't know how it would do. Looks like it's one of the best. ETF known as SSK achieved an impressive debut on yesterday, June 2nd, drawing 12 million in inflows and generating 33 million in trading volume. Don't laugh yet. Wait. Bloomberg's ETF analyst, Eric Balchunas, highlighted that SSK's first day performance ranks in the top 1% for new ETF launches. Now, didn't do as well as Bitcoin, but I mean, hey, Bitcoin's the king. Balchunas noted that the SSK's 33 million trading volume on its opening day was exceptional, far outpacing the Solana XRP futures. While the volume was much lower than Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, the result still indicates a robust investor interest in Solana. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully that will pump all our bags. I'll be very happy for that. And that would lead me to one real quick point is that iTRUST, which is one of the partners here for the channel, that's where I have my Roth IRA, which is my retirement account, tax-free. And it's also where I do custodial services, which is like institutional grade custody for your crypto. Guess what they just dropped yesterday? Within my Roth IRA account, which if you don't know what a Roth IRA account is, there's a link in the description where I talk about that. It's underneath the iTRUST. That's the tax-free account. They're going to allow me now to put Solana in there, which they already have, but then I get to stake it. I get to stake Solana, and the rewards of the staking are also tax-free. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. It just went live yesterday. So it's very simple to do. If you have a Roth IRA, you just go there, click on Solana, stake whatever you want, and that's pretty much it. The only question I cannot get answered yet is this, because they have conditional buys and sells within the Roth IRA account. I don't know how that works, because if you're staking your Solana, there's a cool-off period between 48 to 72 hours. Correct me in the comment section. And because of that, if you have conditional orders to sell, I don't know how that actually works. So this is a very new thing, but it looks pretty good. This is just if you're like playing around and want to trade within your Roth IRA account, which is tax-free. And that's what we have. So let me know what you think about that. I personally like it. And then moving on, the big, beautiful bill just passed, I want to say like 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago in the House. So it went to the Senate, passed in the House. I don't know how the heck that happened. I didn't think it was going to go through, but what do I know? And this is good. this is good that it passed. I don't know if it's going to be great as far as like the debt ceiling, but we'll see what happens. So this was narrowly passed, 218 to 214 votes. Yays for the Republicans, 218. Democrats, 212. Oh, wow. 2 actually dissented. So that's very interesting. So why is this big? Well, macroeconomically, I don't want to get into that because it could be pretty disastrous as far as like a deficit, or we might be able to grow our way out of it. I'm not for sure. But it is interesting, though, it's going to weaken the dollar, and it's already weakened the dollar. Why is that a good thing for Bitcoin? Well, from Kobayashi letter, it says like this. U.S. dollar index fell 10% in the first half of 2025. It's the worst first half performance since the end of the gold-backed Bretton Woods system in 1973. The dollar is weakening. Why is that good? Well, for Bitcoin, it's good because when the dollar is weak, or when the dollar is strong, I should say, or DXY, Bitcoin goes down. This happened in 2013, happened in November 2013. DXY went down, Bitcoin went up. Same thing happened in 2017 and 2018. DXY went up, Bitcoin went down. Then when DXY went down, Bitcoin went up. It's a seesaw pattern because, and this is what Trump has talked about. He's like, I want to get behind Bitcoin. I want to be the epicenter of crypto and digital assets, most specifically Bitcoin. And I want us to be a hub as far as the United States. If he wants to weaken the dollar, which it looks like he's obviously doing very well, then maybe we could get that Bitcoin reserve, but it's anybody's guess. But I can just tell you like this, historically speaking, dollar gets weak, Bitcoin gets strong. And I don't know if you guys own any, I do. And we'll see where this actually leads. So let me know if you think that's going to work out. Maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing, but let's switch to a little bit to talk about manipulation. And we know that some of the markets are manipulated, but I thought this was very interesting. This was from a friend of the show, Dan Gambardello, got a great channel, Crypto Capital Ventures. And he says, look, this is the same story and repeat. Crypto is about to break out and the entire move gets shut down via market maker wash trading. It's all one big game of manipulation and we're along for the ride. This stuff is illegal, needs to stop. I mean, if you're playing on that futures and liquidations and shorts and longs, perhaps per se. But I will just say, if you don't really, I'm not into that world. I'm just not. And I'm just pretty much a dollar cost averager. I'm not that smart or smart enough to get in there and trade with the big guys. I just don't want to. But if you take a look at Counterflow, which is bitcoincounterflow.com, I linked in the description so you can take a look at it. All you really got to know is this. This is the liquidation volume. And when you see there's a lot of volume at a certain point, that's where you want to say is like, okay, there's the levels that I think I could go to. Again, at 110,550, there's a 230, 240, that's like $500 million right there in these 5 different ticks. And if you're looking at for the lows, well, the lows, it could be 103,950. So somewhere in that range, that's where I know things are going to stay. I don't see Bitcoin going below 103,000. I don't see it going above 111,000 anytime soon. And why? It's because so many different people are going to get liquidated. They have their money into these ranges. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that. And then also, I don't know how you feel about this, because manipulation kind of goes hand in hand with companies making bad decisions. I think this is one of those. This is a story from Crypto Slate, but it's really takes a look at Zach XBT, and he uncovered that North Korean hackers are getting paid by Circle, which they just went public 3 weeks ago, and they're responsible for USDC stablecoin. This just boggles my mind this is actually happening. And I bring this up because I want you to be aware that these companies, maybe they have the best intentions, but they screw up left and right. I think this is one of them. North Korean IT workers, remember this word, ITW, IT workers, ITW. They earned $17 million this year with some funds coming from Circle. And this is from, if you don't know Zach XBT, is like an online sleuth. He's done a lot of different things. He's very, very thorough in his investigation. He points out that funds were sent directly from Circle accounts in several cases. Now, I don't know the exact amount, but I'm just saying any amount from Circle, who was responsible from USDC, to pay North Korea. And however they did that is an abomination. It highlights a serious vulnerability in the public listed firm's compliance oversight. I have to agree there. He states, I think it's misleading. Circle markets themselves as the most compliant stablecoin that puts security first when they do not have proper channels to report illicit activity and do not engage in incident response during major exploits. Interesting. According to Zach, many of these ITWs, these IT workers, are tied to U.S. exchanges like Coinbase and Robinhood. Wow. While MEXC remains a popular platform for laundering funds, I can tell you right now, there's people in the comment section right now who have gotten screwed over or actually have gotten hacked, and it went right to MEXC and got laundered out. A few years ago, this was interesting, Binance was widely used by IT workers, but now it's rare due to improvements in detection and private industry collaboration that lead to seizures. So I just found this interesting that Circle, which you would think is super compliant in somehow, way, shape, or form, has been paying North Korean IT workers. Yeah, it doesn't get stranger than that. And that's why I say just be careful out there. And of course, the exchanges that we just talked about, we just said, I don't use them. And there's a reason. And I'm only using Kraken right now. And the reason for that is that they've been around. I mean, I did this whole video. You can watch why I'm only using Kraken. But just so you know, they're giving away $50,000 worth of Dogcoin, which is runes on Bitcoin. All you got to do is just hold 10,000 dog, which is like $50. And they do that. Also, they're giving away, how much is this? They're giving away $20 or $25 worth of USDG. And all you got to do is go through the app, click on, let me go back there with her. Oh yeah, see that little bottom right there? It says crack. Just click on that. And then hit the request button, search crack team, and then ask for $25 in USDG. Let me see, is that already? Or $20, excuse me. So they're giving it away. If you want to figure out how to do all that stuff and why I think Kraken is, why I've only been using them exclusively, there's a link in the description. And it looks like this. Well, there's the video itself. And if you sign up for Kraken, you get $25. Before anybody asks, I'll say it again. This is not a sponsored post. I just like using Kraken, especially all the nonsense I had to go over the years with Coinbase. I'm sticking with these guys. Watch the video and you'll see why. And that's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We talk about is time sensitive, but that is it for today. Now, if you want to stick around, we'll do a little Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. Let's see. What do we have? Soul Army. Some people have more soul than they can control. That's an old James Brown reference. Let's see. Ah, yes, here you are. When Lambo? I got to ask, does anybody really want a Lambo? You know how hard it is to get in those things? Gas mileage is atrocious. Feel cramped in there. I'm not getting that. But maybe like a new Dodge Grand Caravan or something in the future. Who knows? Jesse says, how can you support this big BS bill as a veteran, Rob? Well, here's the thing. What are you going to do? Your representatives, whoever those are, they passed it. So I always talk about the sphere of control, right? I have the sphere of control. If that bill passes, I can't do squat. The only thing I can do is go, okay, what can I do if I hate that bill so much to move forward? Maybe during the midterms, you support a person that wants to kick out the person that voted for that bill. And maybe if you're like with Elon Musk, he wants to do the same thing and you guys can team up, or you can start donating, or you can start campaigning, or whatever you want to do. I can't do anything with that. The only thing I can say is go, okay, how can I benefit from this issue right now? And where are things going? I mean, I can sit down and I can complain and I can write about it all day long. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to what am I going to do to help me and my family? I think that's the bigger thing to think about. Or you can go out and start, protesting, I suppose. I don't know. I'm kidding. I hope they're very happy. He's a Trumper, Jesse. Well, look, there's some things I like that Trump did, and some things I don't like that Trump did. So we can go over that, but it seems like every time I bring something up on Trump, we just go in this black hole for the next 10, 20 minutes. Do we really want to go there? And what's the point? Hey, Rob, what's your opinion on SWE? Guy from Coin Bureau seems quite bullish on it. I own a lot of it. I hope it does very well. There was a great article talking about the fallacy of TPS, or transactions per second. We took a look at it yesterday when we took a look at Arbitrum versus Solana versus Cardano. And if you just take a look at TPS by itself, you're like, oh, well, there's obviously, Solana's actually far and away the big winner. But if we take a look at TPS, and I think in SWE it's like TPG, how they said it. But for every one transaction, you can have 1,000 transactions within that one. And the same thing can be said for Cardano, where it's EUTXO. If you take a look at EUTXO.org, you can see that every one transaction may have 10 or 20 transactions within that one transaction. So it's not really so much a great metric. It can be, but as time has gone on, I've learned that there's actually things behind it. So as far as like SUI or SWE, it's very fast. Not just the TPS, but the TPG, however they call it. And the narrative behind it, I think, is moving forward. And also, if you take a look at their stablecoin TVL, looks pretty good. So maybe that can do well. Hey, if ETH will pump SOL, then that's fine. Exactly. I don't see what everybody's complaining about. If ETH goes up, great. All the altcoins go up. I don't care. Dingo says Bitcoin is the way. True. That's true. Meme says it. People calling Rob Dan means we are officially in the bull market. I cannot wait. Rebecca. Hey, Rob, you going to Rare Evo August 6th or 10th? I'll be there. Come say I'm working the Derek Gaming Karate Combat booth. Rebecca's always there. We're always pushing at Dara, which is a good project. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to go. It is in Vegas. I still have family there, but let's see. Inverse DXY. Jesse say, how is it good, Rob? Like I said before, Jesse, it's weakening the dollar. The dollar goes down. Bitcoin goes up. Yes, I understand about the problems with Medicaid and how it's cutting that. And yes, I understand that it puts a massive amount of debt onto the future, especially with, I think it adds $4 trillion. So yes, I get all that. However, if you take a look at it, God, I didn't want to do this. But if you take a look at it, you start to say, okay, well, as the debt goes up and we're able to spend more money, can we actually grow our way out of it? Donald Trump and the administration seems to think about it. And it's not just Donald Trump going, we're going to do this. It's also U.S. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent and a whole host of the cabinets going, we can do this. Is it going to work? I don't know. Is there anything I can do about it? It's not a goddamn thing I can do about it. So that's it. Yes. Big nasty bill. Which didn't help anyone, but they're rich. Well, I don't know. Like I said, it helps you. It helps if you have Bitcoin a little bit. Okay. It's a lot of stuff. That's from Office Space. If you guys haven't seen that movie, it's a classic. I think it's like 30 years old now. Abuse the money printing, buy everything governments can't. Probably true. Master Blaster says, how come he didn't move to Dominican Republic? It's half the price of Puerto Rico. It's not just about price. Let's see. Soul to Mars. I mean, if I really want to go someplace really super cheap, I can go to, I guess, Thailand. That's even cheaper than everything. I'm not a moon guy. I'm not even a MAGA guy. I just read things for myself, research for myself. I'd call Trump out any day. And both sides apply as the crooks. Yeah. There was this great image which showed the national deficit under Republican and Democratic presidents. And guess what? It just kept going up. So I know some people say, well, this is the worst thing. This is the best. All politicians suck. That's what it comes down to. Let's see. Quality film. It was a quality film. Can't stop the swamp. Exactly true. Yeah. Meme says, it's nice to see we have more diversity of opinion in the chat. Used to be a MAGA echo. Yeah. Everybody has a honeymoon phase, when you get there and you say, okay, this guy's going to be the greatest thing of all time. And then when they get in there, you realize, it's not going to be perfect. Somebody's thinking they're stuck. That's how it goes. I think that's it. I mean, there's a lot of comments back and forth about Trump, but I mean, this isn't that type of channel. I only talk about these things because I have to. Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. CoinCat I just staked my soul on iTRUST today. Great. Good work. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about something else real quick. I want everybody to realize that, got a couple minutes, that price predictions are the most ridiculous things you can possibly click on. They're very clickbaity type of thing. I guess it's not a clickbait thing. So clickbait really is, you say, you know, watch this video and I'm going to show you how, you know, P. Diddy was the worst person of all time. And then you click on the video and it's not even about P. Diddy. It just has nothing to do with it. But price predictions like this one are ridiculous. This is from Standard Chartered. And they're saying that Bitcoin 200,000 target still in play, driven by ETF, corporate treasury buying. And this is from the analyst at Standard Chartered. And I was going to talk about this, but we kind of went over too much time. But I will say that if you're looking at, you know, price predictions and the accuracy of them, just go to Grok. Yeah, go to Grok and ask them about anybody's price predictions in the past, even mine. You know, it'll tell you like, this guy did not do great. Standard Chartered is the same thing. Standard Chartered's price prediction of the last, I just pulled up the last 2 years. Check this out. In July of 2023, Standard Chartered forecasted Bitcoin reaching 50,000 by the end of 2023. That's pretty good. And 120,000 by the end of 2024. Well, that didn't happen. This was an upward revision from an earlier 23 prediction of 100,000 for end 2020. They should have stuck with that. Driven by optimism about Bitcoin's recovery from the crypto winter. March 2024, the bank raised its year-end 2024 price prediction to 150,000. Wow, okay. And predicted a 2025 peak of 250,000, settling around 200,000. See if that works out. April, Standard Chartered doubled down on the 150,000 year-end 2024 target. That didn't happen. 2024, amid a price drop to around 57,000, Standard Chartered warned Bitcoin could fall further to 50,000, 52,000. That didn't happen. And then it just keeps going down the line. So if you ever like, ooh, this could be a big thing as far as like a price prediction, just take a look at the person, go to Grok or ChatGPT or whatever of your choice of AI programs, and just say, hey, how have these price predictions been over the last 2, 3, 5 years? Let me know. And it'll tell you, and you'll be like, wow, everybody sucks. Jupiter Mojo says, Rob, I asked Grok to give me the Bitcoin price prediction for this year, and Grok said to come here and ask you. And the only reason Grok would say that is because Grok knows I'm the most accurate in price predictions. So here it is. Bitcoin, by the end of the year, 2025, will be somewhere between $5 and $570,000, somewhere within that range. And so far, over the last 2 years, I have been undefeated in price predictions. So you're welcome. Good question. Let's see. Hi, Kyle. I'm not going to talk about that. There's a project that has only $35,000 in liquidity. That is going to be a rug, probably. Let's see. Pizza with pineapple, carrot, and bananas. It's the worst handle of all time. Nobody cares about crypto. Just look at social risk. It's basically zero. It's a good point. That's a great point, as a matter of fact. Let's take a look at that. So let's go to this website called Into the CRYPTOVERSE. And there's these things called, and what's great about, there's a couple of things I like about these. The crypto risk indicators, if you click on that arrow there, what's great is that it pools together some aggregate of price metrics, on-chain, and social metrics. And for some reason, oh, there it goes. And you'll see how things just really pop off. Like remember November 2021? Ooh, those are good times. Look at those metrics. Most things were above, well, almost there. Price metrics, on-chain, and social were red hot. And the where it pulls them all together, I guess the top 0.73. That was in the top November 2021. What about 2017? Even hotter. 2013 didn't follow social metrics, but still looked pretty good, 0.93. That was pretty crazy. But what you'll notice is these things called YouTube subscribers, views, Twitter followers, that's at 0. Other stuff was, was pretty hot. Wow. Hold on. Let me go over here. Yeah. Okay, that's better. So we're like halfway in the halfway marks, except for all the social. Retail just stopped caring. And we take a look at views. Well, we can see that the last big push was in March. Now we're in the toilet, as it were. Not too many views per day. I remember some people get like 1 million views a day. And now we can't even hit 1 million for everybody. And so the question is, there's two questions, which is, are people just that don't really care so much? Or are they getting their information on other platforms besides Twitter and YouTube? Like, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram? I don't think so. But I think it really just comes down to a lot of retail is just, they're gone. They don't want to deal with it. And they won't come back until we start seeing some all-time highs, not in Bitcoin, because 100,000 plus Bitcoin doesn't excite people. They're like, I missed that boat a long time ago. And they don't even realize that they can buy Satoshis. They can buy 10 bucks, 20 bucks of Bitcoin. That's not exciting. What's exciting is a 10, 20x on some altcoin, but you won't get that until we see a little bit of an altcoin run, and then it'll go crazy. That's my thesis. Usually that's what happens. People don't care about fundamentals. It's boring. They care about numbers go up. Let's see. Retail is also broke. Also true. Oh, of course you guys, but you guys aren't the normal retail, right? If you're here, then you are probably, you're part of the 1% that bought during the bear market when nobody does that. I don't know if you guys realize just what an anomaly you all are to be here, because nobody buys, very few people buy during the down frame. All they want to do is they want to say, okay, where is this hockey stick or banana zone or stupid? Where does it start to go up? I want to get in right here before it does this. I want to get in right here before it does this. I'm not doing all this stuff over here where it's just flat. I just want to get in right there and then ride it all the way up. So when it gets starting hitting all-time highs, let me know, and I'll go all the way. That's not you. You probably, and a lot of my subscribers or people who watch my videos, you guys are usually pretty fiscally responsible. You are American. You are between a certain age, and you have a lot of entrepreneurial tendencies. So the people that watch me are not normal. You are actually abnormal or abnormal. Old joke. And you did the right things. And now it's going to come paying off. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Let's see. All right. Exactly. Says we are the dumb retail. No, I think most people are pretty smart. And I think as we get into this market and we start to really push, Tom Lee pumps all our bags, and then the current administration wants to make crypto the hub of the world, and we start to see more companies and more institutions and more nation states get into it. We'll all look back and go, it was so obvious. And then all your friends will start calling you and go, hey, Pete, what's up with that Solana? What's up with that Cardano? What's up with that blah, blah, blah? And then you're like, I knew it. That's just going to take some time. Yeah, still here at negative 33%. I don't really care about that. Reagan, those are good times. The 80s. Retro Beast. Are we the bag holders? I think on a lot of these altcoins we might be. But again, there was this really good video James put out from Invest Answers. And he talked about how successful VCs, they'll have like 20 projects, and he just goes to the data like he usually does. And all they need is like one to hit, and it erases all the other 19. And then he took a look at Warren Buffett, and he said, Warren Buffett, he's got over, I want to say it's over 20 different companies in holdings for his Berkshire Hathaway and how that works. But he says, and he's right, out of that, actually, I want to say it's 80. Like 3 to 5 make up like 85% of why he's successful. So everybody talks about Warren Buffett, how successful he is. They don't realize that on some of these, they've been some laggards and some real dogs. But they don't really get that. They just look at Warren Buffett and go, he's the best investor of all time. I think it's the same thing with us. As long as one of our altcoins hits, or if you got a bunch of Bitcoin like I do, that's all that matters. All the other ones are just some piddly-ante loss that we don't really care about. Looking back at the cycle, people ask what the catalyst was. I will tell them Tom Lee. Let's hope so. But I will say, though, if Tom Lee was the great catalyst, I mean, he's very bullish for like the last, 2022, 2023. Was Tom Lee not bullish? That's pretty much what it is. All right, everybody. Grant's gonna got to go. I got to go. So that's it for today. So look, like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. Sorry about NFA Live today. Ben had some things going on with family, and then guys all over the world. So next week we'll get back into it. But that's it for this piece. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.